Happy Black Friday, everyone. Oh, man. Dash, this is your day. You take it away, man.
All right, cool. Let me just kick it off with this. I should have just came in with like a full like red, white, and blue flag just to troll the hell out of everybody. Hey, how is everybody doing? Welcome to this Black Friday where we get to see crisps versus French fries.
Yes, there's so many isms. And you still haven't watched Ted Lasso, which is the quintessential comedy of football, both footballs, really, in American English culture. So I will be the mediator today. As a Canadian, I am America's closest friend and neighbor, but my culture is deeply entrenched in that of the British ways. So I am there right in the middle. I'll just be making fun of everyone.
As I say, what do you get when you get a Canadian and an American?
I don't know. Is there a punchline to this?
Two people that make fun of the Brits.
Oh, everyone makes fun of the Brits. You don't need us to do that. And to be fair, I mean, Americans, Canadians, we both get made fun of a fair bit, I think. Rightfully so.
I mean, what is it? The Brits call us Yanks and they call you guys Canucks, right?
Yeah, I don't actually know where those names really come from per se. And Yanks refer to specifically like the North. I understand that.
I mean, most of the time, like anytime you're speaking with someone over there, they're just like, "Oh, you're a Yank." And I'm like, "Yeah."
And it goes a bit deeper than that. It goes back to the Civil War, I believe. My little history of that I do know about.
A little further back.
Back, yeah.
Good old American Revolution.
Yeah, so we're talking like 1700s.
Yeah, back when people used to get pissed when you dunked their tea in the water.
Yeah, exactly. As boring as North American history is, the 1700s, a lot was going on. There was a lot of murdering and pillaging and all kinds of weird stuff.
A lot of people died.
Yeah, America and Canada. Well, it wasn't even America and Canada at that point. They were British and French colonies. And a bit of Spanish really thrown in there as well. So that's the American history. The English all started when a French guy crossed the strait.
Yeah, pretty much.
Take the claim for himself. So who are the British people themselves other than just a conglomeration of different types? So, I mean, our cultures are so intertwined regardless. Here we go. It only matters who wins this match, who comes out on top.
I do have one question for the viewers. What is Messi?
Sorry, I'm speakers. What is...
So where's Messi? Everybody, has anybody seen Lionel Messi?
Has anybody seen Messi?
Lionel Messi has disappeared. I saw this clip. Bunch of Saudi Arabian fans go up to the one of the post game interviewers, and the guy says, "Hey, excuse me. Quick question. What is Messi? What is Messi? You see Messi?" And then they were trolling him so hard. That game was awesome.
We did get to see Penaldo though.
We did.
Penaldo shows up again.
He looked like trash, I'm going to be honest. He looked so out of whack.
Well, he just got fired.
He did.
I didn't even have any of that come up on my timeline. And, I mean, it's a good thing I got you to do the news this past week, because that was the day he got fired, and I would have missed that. Because I was just looking at the Juve news.
I wish I had a clip of Donald Trump, and then like I edited it as like Manchester United as his face, and just opened the show up with, "You're fired."
You're fired. Yeah. Why doesn't Trump own any sport? Does he own any sports teams?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he's interested in it. I think he's in the political swing now.
Oh yeah, there's it Ted Cruz, the guy that owns a football team and an English football team, American and a football. Who is that?
I don't think it's a politician.
No, it's not a politician, but I mean, he's politically charged. I'm pretty sure. These guys are.
All billionaires are.
Who is it? He owns an NFL franchise and a Premier franchise.
The Glazers. They own Man U and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Is that who it is?
Could be.
Who owns an
And then-
NFL and EPL?
And then the Fenway Group owns the Bruins, the Red Sox, and Liverpool.
Yeah, Chelsea. Robert Johnson. Yeah, I think this is it. Chelsea and the New York Jets.
Oh, Boer.
There's apparently a couple of them. So,
This is interesting. So they're doing the national anthems, and they swapped out "God Save the Queen" to "God Save the King."
oh yeah, that happened pretty much right away.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, so I see. I know this is me being Canadian knows these things because we have to. We do these same things, right? We have these things in our parliament, our systems.
So then, my question to you is: do you guys actually change your currency now to King Philip instead of Queen Elizabeth?
It's going to, yeah.
Really? Wow, I did not know
The
that.
thing is, so it's super expensive. Everything changes, right? So think of all the currency. Think of all the emblems, like in Parliament, all the government buildings, your military, like anything that had the Queen's whatever insignia or her insignia. It's not Lorenzo Insigne. But yeah, all those little accoutrements. Even the cops too. They would have a crown, right? So that all has to change to the king's crown and not the queen's crown.
I gotcha. You know, I do find it ironic that the Star Spangled Banner is playing against England because it was written in the War of 1812 while we were fighting them.
Losing to them?
Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah, that one doesn't get talked a lot south of the border.
Nope.
We burnt down the White House twice.
And it's still there.
Well, you burnt down our parliament, so we're like, nah, we're March on Washington. And by we, I mean the British, and I have an Italian heritage, so I don't really know who I'm talking for, but...
Just high five in the backgrounds. Great job, guys. You did it. What'd you guys do? Absolutely nothing, but we'll egg you on.
Yeah. Italy wasn't doing anything. They were getting bossed around by the French as well back then.
Say, Italy never did anything historically wise besides give us like really good suits and exotic sports cars.
Well, I mean, depends if you consider the Romans Italian history.
They did give us depends. I mean, those are really useful.
Depends, like the underwear for
the
diapers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going a cappella here.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with depends. I'm pretty sure that's an American invention.
Yeah, but with a little bit like Gucci depends.
Whatever. The Italians always do it better.
They do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, American clothing sucks.
Blue jeans, man. Blue jeans and rock and roll. The British try to do rock and roll, but they end up with things like the Beatles.
Yeah, but aren't they like arguably one of the greatest rock bands ever, though?
Arguably. I'll argue. There's like... So for their time, it's one of those things. For their time. And they were certainly influential, absolutely. But do I want to sit there and listen to records of their music? No, I don't. It's just like you can say Shakespeare, he was brilliant, did all this. Am I going to sit there and just read Shakespeare plays for fun? No, I'm not.
You don't? You uncultured swine. How could you?
You know what? It just doesn't interest me. Speaking of which, uncultured, where'd I put the bastard? Where'd I put the book? We have Jonathan Gray. I put his book right here.
Yeah, plot twist, he's sitting on it.
Okay, here we go. I threw it up on my shelf. So, Jonathan Gray, the man who wrote this book, just released it. He's going to pop in. Is there a picture of him? I don't think he put his picture. We'll get a picture. You'll see what he looks like at halftime. He's going to get drunk at an English pub, watch this game. And he's going to pop in at halftime. Talk a bit about the book, give the English perspective, and tomorrow we're recording podcasts, and he's the guest. So there you go. I just finished the book. It took me 3 days. I ripped right through it. It was great. It's all about 90s Italian football.
Oh, speaking of Black Friday, I forgot to say this. 30% off everything in the Turin Giant store, guys.
Oh, baby. 30%.
30% ends November 30th.
We need a banner for that, but we're on kickoff. They did take the knee in protest and defiance, as is customary.
All right.
But Keen.
I wanted to play that. But Keen.
Do you know, guys, that Keen got the player of the month for November in Serie A?
Wow.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Allegri got the coach, Keen got the player. What do you guys have to say about that?
The internet's melting.
So, they're both blue and white.
Yeah. The Brits are blue and we're in white.
No, you got that the wrong way.
No, it is.
The English are white.
Are they? Oh yeah, they are.
Can't you see that afro in blue?
Why did they show the teams in like reverse colors on the lineups? God,
because that was stock footage, and I bet you that they probably just changed. They either just used the same stock footage for all their matches, or it was after the fact decision to change colors.
It's fine. Just do better.
And actually, you know what? That's some of the interesting stuff talking about that book again, because it's this story starting up through Channel 4 in Chelsea, essentially, West London. And he's talking about editing these tapes, like trying to get them ready for replay right after the match is finished, essentially. Like, you got minutes and you got to cut these. And this is back in the 90s, right? We're talking about tape. So it was kind of interesting.
I gotcha. God, that's going to be fun to talk to him about the 90s, because that's like prime Juventus stuff back in the 90s.
Well, it's prime Serie A.
Yeah, that too.
And that's the whole point of the book, is like these were the golden years of Serie A. And man, it's just interesting too. You get to hear more than just your team, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So often we focus just on Juventus. Here, I got to learn a lot more about Milan, even the rivalry, how Roma won the cup one year and then Lazio got it the next year. You know, that whole Roman dominance for a couple years. Get to learn all about that. So McKennie, does he still? Yeah, he does. He's got the tricolor stripe in his hair.
So, you know, the interesting thing, talking about the U.S.'s first game against Wales, they were their own worst enemy that game. I think their coach is terrible.
The Welsh one or American?
American.
So that's interesting then, because more similarities in this match today is that both coaches are horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Iran absolutely ran through Wales this morning. They beat them 2-0.
So now that was interesting. I was watching the ticker because if you guys haven't noticed, I've been kind of sick. I'm feeling a bit better today, but I've been kind of out of it this whole week. Whatever. If you look at my crappy news videos from this past week, which not many people have, probably because they're so crappy because I was sick. But I've been sleeping in a little bit more than I'm used to, right? So I haven't been catching the first game, which normally I would have been. I'd be up for that. So I think I was getting up just towards the end of it, and I saw like 90 minutes, whatever it was, and it was 0-0. I'm like, great. And I'm already figuring out the headlines, right? Like 5 days, 5-0-0 draws. Because they set a record. Like in the first 4 days, having 4-0-0 draws, that has never happened in the World Cup before. So I didn't even pay attention. And then just before I don't know, an hour ago, it says, before I came home, I decided to look up the scores again, and I see 2-0. I'm like, what happened? And I see there's a goal in the 99th minute. And I was just like, what did I miss? Like, obviously, those last few minutes, it must have been pandemonium.
No, I bet. I mean, the thing is, it's kind of frustrating that the U.S. didn't win that game against Wales, because they absolutely dominated them in the first half, and then the second half they stopped playing. But this group's going to be interesting. I still think England and the U.S. are going through, but definitely a lot more juicy. But I'm more interested to see Argentina's group pan out, because if Argentina loses to Mexico, they're pretty much done and dusted.
Yeah, I think our Mexican following here, KB and
Frankie.
Frankie. Yeah, sorry, like how did I forget that? Yeah, man, they've been going at it in the Discord as well. They're excited. They have a solid chance now, really. If that's how Argentina's going to play.
Yeah, as long as you know the thing is like how does Lautaro get beat by the offside trap every single time against Saudi Arabia? Like I was watching that and I just wanted to like yell at Lautaro and say you're an overrated piece of trash. Like dude, you're getting offside trapped by like Serie Chi level players. Like that was
Yeah,
insane.
I have no idea, and that really kind of ruined things. Well, the Welsh ruined things today too because I was really hating on these Middle Eastern teams. I do not think they're good. And I know there's a defense saying, okay, they're not that bad. They're obviously not that bad if they made it to this point. I get it. But
At least they're not Costa Rica.
So Costa Rica is fourth in the CONCACAF. If you look at like fifth to eighth, I mean, you literally have Canada, US, and Mexico.
Yeah, that
The rest, and Canada just these past couple years, really. Let's be honest, they've just recently got to this level, to the point that they're winning CONCACAF. You know, when you have guys like Alphonso Davies, most especially, he did not stop the work rate on that kid.
They got to teach that kid how to make penalties, man.
Yeah, and that was their saving grace. Belgium, obviously, is what is he like 6'8"? Timo Courtois, the guy's a giant. He's one of the best keepers in the world. He plays for Madrid. He's used to doing that, right? So,
yeah, because I have never seen a team get dominated that bad and lose or win. I'm sorry, like that. Like the funny thing is, everybody was talking smack about Allegri ball, and like literally 6 or the 7 teams that won have been using Allegri ball.
yeah, and I don't know if that was a joke. One of the teams, who was it, said that he copied Allegri. Yeah.
I don't know if that was real or not, but they're saying that the Japanese head coach was like,
that's the one. Yes.
And well, I mean, the Twitter page that tweeted it was Salvatore Biscotti.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's like I don't think that's real, but it's funny because Japan literally won using Allegri ball.
And that's what I try to remind people when it comes to the World Cup is that that's the dominant style. Not to say dominant necessarily it's going to win, but dominant in how often it's used across the teams. That very defensive style. Because these guys don't get to play with each other all year. It's easier to set up this defensive structure, say, okay, stay in here, mark these guys, do it this way. Okay, if you're a team like Brazil we saw yesterday, and they have just such intense flair and skill, like Richarlison, who is probably their worst striker of who they have. Yeah. And look what he did yesterday off that volley with that like insane, like toe-driven cross. The pace of that cross was intense. But regardless, outside of Portugal, Brazil, France, what have you, most of these teams, they're just going to set up and essentially play Allegri ball. And we know it works against teams, say like Argentina, these teams that want to come forward and press. Because if they have an off day and they can't finish, much like Canada, even the other day, they just had no finish. Man, you just sit back. Get one on the counterattack or on a corner. And here's one. Oh! England just put it wide. Speaking about not being able to finish. Oh, it was a block. There we go.
Yeah, it was a block.
Blocked by the ponytail. No, not the... Yeah, they have 2 ponytails in defense. Love it. Top knots. I thought only Croatians could pull that off.
I mean, the guy practically looks Croatian.
He does, yeah. See, that always throws me off how Trippier is English. I always want to think he's French. Yeah. They're just kicking it wherever. Now, how about, and I'm surprised Frankie didn't lose his mind over that Ochoa penalty save.
I mean, I did. I thought that was nuts. Dude, Harry Maguire looking like Ronaldo coming in on the left wing.
He didn't know what he was doing. He was just trying to stay on his feet, and it worked out.
Gotta put more respect on the Lord Maguire, man. He got Ronaldo fired. Nobody gets Ronaldo fired.
So what's this story there? Because I never did look into it.
So he did a interview with Piers Morgan, absolutely just roasting the club and everything. And the club was like, "Oh shoot," because Ronaldo did it on purpose so he can get himself fired because he wants to leave. Because the thing is like allegedly Ten Hag didn't want him to leave, but he doesn't want to use him either. So like Ronaldo's like, "What the bleep, man? Like, what the hell you want me to do? I'm on the twilight of my career. I'm trying to win crap."
Yeah, and a guy like Ronaldo wants to continue to win crap, and Ten Hag's probably like, he's an excellent guy to put in for the last 20 minutes of a match.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ronaldo was getting frustrated with that, and then also like a lot of the team was like indifferent about him. So like for example, your Maguires, your Luke Shaws, your Bruno Fernandes are kind of like because Ronaldo's
they're a bunch of blokes, and Ronaldo is like intense, pretty boy, prima donna. He's like a prima donna, but at the same time, he's got this like insane intensity and work rate. Like he's hard to be around, you know.
Yeah, and you know like Rashford and them didn't like him for it, so like Ronaldo kind of divvied up the locker room, and then
Rashford's lazy. He definitely doesn't like him.
Yeah, so it's like, and you know, and that's the thing too, and it's funny because after that interview, Manchester United now is looking to sell the club. Like the Glazers are thinking about selling it.
Yeah, I just saw that pop up too, and that's it's kind of crazy too. United, they should.
Well,
I bet you, isn't that what the fans want though? Because they hate them, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do. I would assume so. But you know, that kind of goes to show how the Prem is like absolutely overrated in my opinion, because you have a bunch of lazy blokes that go in there and grab a paycheck and they just get their asses pumped like they're like the greatest league in the world, and nobody there plays anything significantly at all.
Well, I just love pointing out, and I know there's representation from everywhere, but like Milinkovic-Savic in net for Austria. Is it Torino?
It's Torino.
Yeah. Torino's goalkeeper. And here he's at the world stage pulling out some pretty nice saves. And it's Torino's goalkeeper, right? Where does Torino rate in like the UEFA rankings, or just in the rankings of general football fans, right? Like,
oh yeah,
nowhere. And then even like Milinkovic-Savic as well, like SMS, he plays for Lazio, so nobody cares in a sense, unless you pay attention to Serie A. And it's unfortunate. Oh, that was he tried to volley.
Well, and then like you hear people say like, "Oh my God, Harry Maguire, Declan Rice, and Luke Shaw, and Marcus Rashford, and Raheem Sterling, and blah blah blah." I'm like, you know, and my response to most English fans are like, "Your super English team got beat by a bunch of mediocre Italians in Chiesa." Because like, let's be real here, man.
Yeah, and Chiesa.
like Immobile, Berardi, and Insigne, like those guys aren't like amazing forwards. They're like maybe 8 out of 10.
Don't forget Bernadeschi.
Yeah, and Bernadeschi. Where it's like that team was like, again, you had Chiellini, you had Bonucci in the back, and then you had your midfield of Barella. Like these guys, like most of the Italian team wasn't touted as like a great, incredible team compared to these,
no, it
like,
was a
English
trash team. We thought it was amazing at the time because of what they did, but looking back, it was a trash team.
Yeah, it was. And it's like, we beat you guys in your home turf. Like, let that sit for a minute. Like, England barely got past the Danish in the semifinals.
Yeah. Oh, man. I saw the Danish. I loved it. And then, I mean, just to hate on the Germans while we're at it, because England took care of the Germans pretty quickly, and we can see how bad they're doing now. But, no, this is what I try to get through to the English friends, the Prem head fans, what have you. Because I even have a buddy, Facebook. I don't know. I use it once every few years. So it was the Italian team. You know how they're like bent over, taking the picture on the pitch, but there was a TV in front of them, so it was them watching the World Cup because they're not in it, right? That joke.
Yeah.
And it was English fan, and I'm like, it's funny seeing as the English can't even beat this team. And it's like, oh, well, they're, something about they're not even playing.
Oh, but Chiellini choked Saka, that's why.
No, he just made that comment about, oh, well, they're not even in the match, whatever, right? You can't win if you're not playing, kind of bullshit, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, but let's actually be realistic here, because we're both Canadian. We're, at the end of the day, we're going for Canada. But they really, you have to be honest. When you guys get to the world stage, and you can blame Gareth Southgate for being a bad coach and his tactics are trash. Sure, that's part of it. But at the same time, is it possibly because your players are so massively inflated that when they come up against players from Liga, the Bundesliga, Serie A, Portugal, Belgium, wherever, like these so-called second and third rate countries, they start to struggle? Does that not mean something? Like, you gotta be realistic. It means your team probably isn't that good and you're overrating the premier players.
I always wanted to say this. When it comes to the Prem, who's like their best players? Non-English internationals. Bernardo Silva, Holland.
Yeah.
Like those players like that. Even Bruno Fernandes for Man United. Like maybe Harry Kane for Tottenham.
And you can go and pay 100. Was it 100 mil for Declan Rice? I think something.
Declan Rice, 100 million.
And
you can Jack Grealish.
Yeah, that was 100. Yeah, and you can go, these guys are 100 million players. And then you believe that as if you only pay attention to the Premier League. Oh, this is a 100 million player. And then you look at, say, SMS. He's a $70 million player. Oh, Jack Grealish must be better.
No.
Is he? Because I don't think that's true.
And they'll be like, oh, yeah, but like SMS does better in a more competitive league. Guys, dude, nobody plays defense in the Prem. Like,
but we see, like now when we play the Euros, we play the World Cup. We'll see. Here's the eye test. And right now, 17 minutes in, England versus the US, it's like, okay, this is like a shitty MLS game right now, is what I'm watching.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's like the funny thing about like England is like the best player to come out of there is not even English. He's Wales. It's Bale. And then you can also argue Ian Rush, who was also a Welsh player as well.
A Welsh?
Yeah. Welsh.
Just a Welsh. He's just a Welsh player.
Walish?
Yeah, Walish. Jack Grealish. Grealish, the Walish.
Maguire-ish? But I never got the hype for the Prem. It's just a bunch of people. It's like a better MLS.
It's how well it's produced. And that's what it comes down to. It's pleasing to the eyes, right? The stadiums are nicer, the lighting's better, the video production's there. You can get a stream and something better than 720p. Which is actually really embarrassing for the rest of us.
Paramount Plus.
But even Fubo is the same thing, right? So there's definitely
took 2 seasons to get the pause button.
Yeah, which is insane. But you've had Sky Sports and BN and Channel 4, all the different networks, what have you, so well established there. I mean, when did they start broadcasting this stuff? The 50s, the 60s?
I think NBC took it in like 2011, 2012. And then like they slowly built it up because like NBC, it's like NBC Warner is like one of the biggest TV production companies in the planet, and they have the Prem. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying like in Europe, right? You have these, just like you have Fox Sports that's been broadcasting the NFL since the 50s, right? Like you cannot usurp Fox Sports or ESPN. They're there to stay. And because they've been doing it for so long, they have all that money. Look at the production value of the NFL and the NBA. And I like to pick on those two sports because they're not the greatest sports. I'm not saying they're bad sports. I'm not trying to trash them. They're just not the greatest sports, but because of how well they're produced, they are really starting to pick up wild, especially in like Spain, England, like all over Europe. It's getting crazy. And here we are in North America, like, okay, you have the Pistons, I have the Raptors. You don't get that into it, right? There's people getting in. It's kind of like how we're getting so into European soccer here in North America because it's something different for us.
And then also just because of the bunch of investment that's gone in the Prem, they have a bunch of infrastructure, dude. They've got like way better infrastructure on their pitches. I mean, hell, at least they have enough cameras for VAR.
Yeah, 4K cameras at that.
4K VAR cameras. We barely got 720 in Italy. Oh, that's so embarrassing.
It is really embarrassing because that technology isn't super expensive these days. But that does beg a question as well, and this goes across all the leagues, is to be able to be part of a league, a federation, and they have it for the different tiers. So if you're tier 3, it's obviously not going to be the same as tier 1. But if you want to be at a tier 1 club, you have to be able to have certain levels of security, a certain number of cameras. You have to be able to implement the VAR system. All these different things have to be done. That all costs money. And the club has to pay for that. If you're like a Cremonese making it up to Serie A, where's all that money coming from?
Nowhere.
So when you're in Italy or Spain or wherever, or yes, on the grand scale of things, they're still very well-off countries. But they're not as well off as, say, the United States or England when it comes to their finances. And the people's ability to just throw money at entertainment to that level. So because there's more disposable income because of whatever reasons, we can get into social economics if we want to. But there's just so much more money getting pumped into it. And yeah, a club like Juventus, Inter, they can afford to implement this stuff. But if they do it and then like Stadio Olimpico or Frankie or wherever all these other stadiums, they can't afford to do that necessarily. So you have to have a standard. So they lower the standard knowing that these lower teams can't afford to go higher than that.
Well, yeah, what is it? Outside of the San Siro and Turin, like the Stadio Olimpico is like the next biggest stadium, and that thing's like 20, 30 years outdated. And then don't even get me started with the Stadio San Paolo and Napoli. Place is falling apart.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like Napoli's a big city, but it's not very well to do.
Nope. That's why they need the Scudetto, guys. They got to win the Scudetto for their stadium fund.
Yeah, Bones just saying it's Serie A's fault. It is, but it's also just the wider culture, economics of the country. It all kind of ties into it. Because let's be, Calcio is Italy. Like, it's very intertwined.
I love how we've been totally on a tangent because this game has been absolutely boring.
Nothing. Absolutely
This game is absolutely nothing right now.
So, guys, in the same week, I got sick. My computer got sick. I didn't even notice a couple nights ago the video was really stuttery. And I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't even know. So we're using StreamYard to do this live stream, right? When I just record myself, I use OBS and I go into like 4K, whatever, and I render it high quality. Well, my computer started shitting the bed and I couldn't do that. So I started doing it on StreamYard. And then it still couldn't even handle StreamYard. So I hope it's good now. It doesn't look like I'm stuttering. But I literally picked up a new processor from the mailbox today, came home, it was like 110, slapped that processor into the computer, hooked everything back up, got it going. Here I am sitting down for the stream.
He slapped it and lathered it in thermal paste.
Oh yeah, the thermal paste. I got it all over that IHS.
Just all creamy.
And Bones saying it's their stubbornness. Yeah, I mean, that is part of it. I can't deny that. I know what it's like to be Italian.
A Big Mac on the ball. Nothing
Yeah.
happening really.
Oh, McKenny put it high. Yep. I would love to see him score. That'd be great. He needs even a header.
Yeah, I need something to get that price tag up. Oh, McKenny got to finish it, though. He still has to finish that. That's Canadian level missing right there.
And remember, the USA is number 2 in CONCACAF, so they miss even harder.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just, CONCACAF teams are blue balls. They get it up and going, they just don't finish. Hence why they're wearing blue.
Blue balls. So what's the story with Serginho Dest? Because his name seems Portuguese, Brazilian.
It probably is. I think he's it's what we call an army brat, like when you're born military parents somewhere abroad.
Yeah. Well, that's McKenny.
Yeah.
He was born in the Netherlands.
Which I got to give props to the U.S. because they're actually pulling United States folk from all over the world. Or before you would have like Timmy, Jonathan, Blake, and your country boy footballers.
Well, France does it really well.
Yeah, France and Germany are experts at it.
Italy's gotten a bit better.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Germany is like half of their team is Turkish origin. Like Gundogan, Ozil when he played. Like even Yeditz, he's technically part Turkish.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of Turks in Germany.
So it's one of those things, man. If you were to take all of those Turks and put them in the Turkish national team, they'd probably be better than Germany.
Okay, so I'm looking up his Wikipedia, and I don't see. So he was born in the Netherlands to Surinamese American father and a Dutch mother.
Oh, that's a yellow card. I don't get why they didn't. These refs have been ridiculously inconsistent during this entire tournament. This is insane.
I don't know. What does Surinamese mean? Where are they from?
I got no idea.
I'm down a rabbit hole, guys.
Find some random porn or something. I'd die laughing.
Okay, Suriname.
All right, Big Mac carrying the ball again.
Oh, right on target.
Come on, McKenny, use that Chipotle. That was a deflected shot right at Jordan Pickford.
Okay, Suriname is just above Brazil. How come I don't know of this country? I feel like an idiot now.
How big is it?
It's like Uruguay, maybe?
What?
Part of the Dutch East Indies. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Interesting. So his father was Surinamese American, and his mother was Dutch. And I'm just going to say it's probably because he played for, like, he went through the Ajax Youth Academy. But I bet it's just one of those classic, I'm not going to be good enough to make the Dutch national team, but I'm good enough to make the American one.
I don't know. I mean, I thought he was being touted as being a really decent right back.
But, yeah, he's decent. Okay, who did the Dutch have at right back?
Dumfries? See, you thought about it. You thought about it.
Okay, but let's think a couple years back. Who they had.
I'm just saying, man, because if you watch the Senegal-Netherlands game, De Ligt and Dumfries got cooked multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, how the Dutch won that game still baffles me.
And we didn't get to see Bremer, unfortunately.
No, you know who they started? They started Sandro. They started Danilo. They started Thiago Silva and Marquinhos.
Yeah.
Why they didn't start
Danilo's out
Bremer?
though, eh?
Ankle injury, yeah.
Yeah.
But
For
the
a
one
week.
thing that baffled me was the fact that they started Marquinhos or Silva over Bremer.
Bremer just got into the team. I think they're just looking for more, I guess, leaderships,
For
veterancy.
Marquinhos?
Veterancy, let's
Marquinhos,
say.
he's a veteran choker.
Yeah, well, I mean, it worked out yesterday.
I was gonna say,
So.
I'm like, hey, you know about the 2 assists he gave to Benzema in the Champions League, right?
I don't know. How about the coach, right? Tito, whatever, the man with one name.
Tite.
Tite, not Tito. Tito, I'm thinking of,
Vodka.
yeah, the vodka. Tito's vodka, which I've never had. I'm sure it's trash. Doesn't
It is.
look good.
It's Texas brewed vodka. What do you expect, Dave? Well, I gotta get some of them stuff that you make in there that we gotta make this Tito's vodka. It's the only thing that we sell for Blood Mirrors down here.
So what's Spone's talking about? They did the Ozil dirty.
Oh yeah, Germany did Ozil very dirty to kick him out of the team.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that I remember that. There was somebody else too they kind of kicked out, wasn't there?
Yeah, and then he said for one of the refs being under investigation. I think it's the one that did the Canada game, the Canada-Belgium game, because of the calls that they missed. That's the same guy that, if you look at it, he did the Cup of African Nations, the Tunisia game, where he ended the match in the 85th minute.
Oh, that was the guy?
That's the guy. How he got into the World Cup, I do not know. He literally blew his whistle at the 85th minute, and everyone's like, what?
What I found interesting, actually, so the head VAR ref is Canadian, and he's allowed to still ref the Canadian games. I didn't think that was allowed.
He didn't do a good job for you guys.
Maybe, and that's part. Oh, that went off the bar.
McKennie with a twist.
There's Pulisic, maybe a future us. No, and that's part of it too. Like sometimes you're so afraid of being called out for bias that you end up biasing in the other direction. Not saying that happened, but like that's a thing. You shouldn't have, even in the VAR room, you shouldn't have a Canadian ref in his own team, or any nation for that matter, right?
Yeah. Jeez, man, it's 32 minutes in, and there's nothing out of this game besides a couple of woodwork shots off of Pulisic. I mean, has England even showed up at all, guys? Like, I have not seen anything inspiring from England besides Maguire taking on 2 guys. But that's a normal Saturday night for Maguire.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Harry Kane. I forgot Harry Kane was playing.
Yeah, he's made a couple touches.
You can't even know. You know, the interesting thing about Kane is, if like you listen to him in an interview, he's like, "All right, lads will come out and play really great," and you're like, "Bro, what are you saying? I can't even hear you."
He is the quintessential English footballer. Not very bright. Don't know what the hell he's saying, but he can kick a ball.
Because I like listen to him talk, and then I listen to Jack Grealish talk, and Jack Grealish talks like an evil Bond villain. He just has like that deep, like British pitch where he's like, "All right, so we got the ball over here, and we did this." Like he's got like a really, really deep voice, and then like Kane, I don't even know, man. Like the dude's like gargling nails every time he speaks a sentence.
Yeah, like man, I'm so bad with names on the spot here. The guy's from Kiss.
That's a place?
The Kiss, the band.
Oh,
Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons. It's not Gene
yeah.
Simmons though. It's the other guy. It's one of the guy, anyways.
I thought you were saying he's from Kiss. I'm like, what?
No. Anyways, those rock stars.
I know.
They're all just
darn heavy metal, them delinquents.
It's hilarious how they're all 70 now and they still act exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You ever seen Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon?
Ozzy, that's the other one. That's
yeah. Ozzy and Kane almost sound the same if you listen to him talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I struggled through that one. And I actually like classic rock. I should probably be a bit better at that one. As I have my classic rock guitar hanging out in the back. Kind of makes sense. I never play it. I used to.
I get you.
It's wall art now.
See if I can pull some stats on this. I got to look at the expected goals because
-1 point.
Like, is England even trying to attack?
No, they're playing Southgate ball.
Yeah, they have they have 0 shots on target, 3 overall shots. Their expected goals is a 0.1. The United States have a 0.3 expected goals.
0.1 just means
they're just here.
They're there. they exist.
It kind of reminds me of the Ghana game yesterday. Like, I was getting really irritated, the Ghana and Portugal game, because like they were literally just like Ghana was coasting until like they got the penalty, and then Ghana was like, "Oh shoot, we're playing a game."
Yeah, it's like, hey, we have a chance.
Oh, you know what my favorite was when Ghana's captain subbed off, and he was like celebrating death, everyone up the sideline. Portugal score right after. He turns around, he's like, "Fuck."
I found a funny meme today. So did you see when they were pretty much down and out, I think after the second goal there, and Buddy it looked like the juicy fruit commercial almost, right? He puts the big thing gum in his mouth. I don't know if you caught that on camera or not.
Was it Serbia?
Or was it the Serbia one?
I don't remember.
It might have been Serbia.
Hey, Austria's not.
Did I say Austria? No. Okay, I didn't mean Austria. Red team. Yeah, it would have been Serbia. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. So the Serbian coach put like the big juicy fruit thing in his mouth.
And just sat down. Yeah. My favorite was when he just like when they were getting beat at the end 2-0 and they couldn't do anything. He just like crossed his arms, sat in the chair, and he's like, "Shit, I don't even know what to do at this point."
But the meme I saw today was dropping acid when you know you can't come back from things, because he's just like, it doesn't look like he's dropping acid.
Gosh, I wish I could. I wonder if I can pull it. But like that Saudi interview after the Argentina game like broke me, man. It was so funny because the guy was like, he was talking to the Asian guy, and the Asian guy told the Saudi guy, he's like, "Congratulations," and the Saudi guy was like, "Thank you so much," and I just like lost my shit. It was so funny. And then like the entire time, like a bunch of Saudis are like, "Hey, can you ask 80,000 people here, where is it Messi? Who is this Messi? Where is it Messi?" I was. The thing is like Argentinian Lionel Messi is probably the gift that keeps on giving for content creators, because the amount of memeable shenanigans that Argentina does, that is the one thing I'm going to miss when Messi retires, is the amount of trollable material we get for him. Like, I don't give a damn if they won the World Cup or not. They gave us that Argentina, or they gave us that Saudi Arabia loss that will be memed forever.
Let's really hope they pick it up though, because Argentina can't be that bad.
They are.
They can't be. They have too many good players.
They're terrible. I'm sorry. It's just like Paredes, like even like our guys, like Di Maria played like garbage. Paredes as well. I'm like, oh boy. And then like they have Otamendi as their starting center back.
Yeah.
And then then you have the Argentinian Demiral and Romero.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of do.
Frankie says he's listening from work. Okay. All right, cool. Good talk. Wait, you were working on Black Friday? What do you work, retail?
He's always working. Oh, we have Jonathan Grade in already. Might as well just bring him in. Here we go.
Nah, go for it.
Hey, how's it going? Does he know?
I think he knows.
I can't hear you, though. I can hear the background. I don't know. This could be awkward. Anyways, he might eventually figure this out. But this is Jonathan Grade. And he's, I'm assuming, in England? Oh, that's right. Frankie got a new... he got a new job.
Frankie works at a line and wicker. I said liquor store. A line and wicker store.
It's Pure One Imports. He just sells wicker.
Yeah, he just sells wickers.
Okay. Okay. Let's remove him for now.
We lost him.
We'll figure this out. He's probably on an iPad or something
I
Apple
gotcha.
that's jamming things up. I can tell you what, though, if I had an Apple, I wouldn't be able to come home from the post office today and within 5 minutes have a new processor and my computer up and running. I would be struggling at some stupid store in a city downtown that had nothing but white walls, talking to a genius about what's wrong with my computer. Yeah, let's bring it back. Let's see if we got it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got
Can
you.
Sorry, it was just my headphones. Oh my God, no. Good. My headphones, I thought were synced, but they weren't. I'm in a really loud, actually American restaurant. So I don't know what I'm doing in an American restaurant tonight, but I'm in an American restaurant, and it's quite loud.
Yeah, but you're in England, right? Right now, where are you?
I'm in London.
In London. Okay, that's what I thought. So,
Yeah.
okay, you went to an American restaurant in London.
I'm in an American restaurant in London, but
That's
it's full of English people, obviously. We have a lot of
Okay.
American in London. But yeah,
Okay.
we're not doing very well here, actually.
No, we've spent most of the past 42 minutes here kind of making fun of England.
Yeah, England. Are not playing well. You guys should be ahead, really, with that shot that hit the bar. And I don't know, we don't seem to be playing very well. But Wales are out, so that's funny. We're enjoying that.
I get that. I mean, it's just a recurring theme for CONCACAF teams. They just can't finish in the net. Started with Canada and the U.S. and it's still going on.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, I think your next game is going to be fascinating against Iran. I'm sure that's going to be lively, if nothing else, and everything's on the line. See what happens here,
absolutely.
but everything's going to be on the line.
Hey, if the United States loses that game, then any kind of political negotiations, that's just going to be held on them from here on out.
Can you imagine? I know.
That's awesome. But let's talk about your book a little bit too. I got it right here.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I really did. I haven't really stopped talking about it because I've learned so much. And
Glad you liked it.
the 90s, yeah, the 90s were so fun. So
it was incredible, and it was that Juventus side back then was this current side sort of paled into insignificance a bit when their domination was incredible, and
yeah,
they were. I mean, it was an amazing side.
So you've never actually came out and said it in the book. Are you a Juventus fan?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Just to make it official, so we know where we stand.
I can't give too much away, but my next project is, which I'm thinking of doing, intertwining with the documentary, is going to be about Del Piero and his journey with Juventus.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the whole being at the top, then Calciopoli, then coming back and culminating that unbeaten season. I just think it's an unbelievable story which hasn't been done. And I'm thinking,
for sure.
I'm trying to work out whether it's a documentary, a book, or both. But I think a documentary maybe, because it's a fascinating story and it's such a journey. The fact he was so loyal and he stayed with the club through all that turmoil and ended up with the most unforgettable season.
Well, we're wearing the shirt here as well, where he says, we have the quote where he says, you never leave your old lady.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. But
we're big fans.
That is my next project, but I have to sort of nail him down and get him to agree to it. But I've seen sort of interviews with him where he said that it's such an amazing story and it should be told. And it hasn't been thus far. So I think, because I saw the documentary on Totti, which was message. Hold on.
Yeah, we got something.
Yeah, which is absolutely fascinating. And it's such a great story, and it's so many angles, peaks and troughs, and so that's sort of the next thing I'm working on, I hope. But I'm not going to say anything about it, so I need to get it happening. But I mean, that era. I mean, how old are you guys? How much do you remember of that era?
I remember a brief amount. I remember the 3 consecutive Champions League finals. I don't remember, not too much before 95.
Yeah.
And I alluded to it because growing up not in a soccer or football family, that I was alive, but it wasn't like forefront. I was paying attention to hockey. because that's what my family paid attention to, right?
Yeah.
So I rely on people like you and your books to help me relive those moments that I missed out on because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, it really, I mean, it was just an unbelievable era. And the side they were just, there was all this talk about Moji and referees, but I think when you look at it overall, the club didn't do anything wrong. He did something wrong, and the club were punished for something he did, which was not really, I mean, there's so many aspects to it that I struggle to accept, such as the prosecutor Guido Rossi being a former Inter director, for starters, such as Inter doing the same thing 5 years later. Nothing is being done about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many aspects to it, and I just don't, obviously there are games when you watch this corner. There are games you analyse, like the Inter game from '98, where you think the penalty wasn't given, and then it was given down the other end, and I still don't know how blatant that Giuliano barge was. In that, was it a penalty? Yes, it was. He ran into him, but was it as nailed on as everyone says it was? And obviously, then it went the other end. And I don't think it would have been as big a deal if they hadn't gone the other end 15 seconds later and been given one, which was borderline, should we say. So I think that was the whole issue with it, was what happened at one end and then happened at the other end. And they were out by the end of it. By 2005, 2006, they were definitely out to get the club, because they could see where Italian football was, and they could see that they didn't like it. They didn't like the domination of Juventus, and this was their vehicle to do it. And all of a sudden you had Milan being uncompetitive, and all these other clubs like Lazio, Roma, who had fought for the title, and it was just Inter, and it all fell into their lap. And it was very sus how it all came about, because all these punishments were dished out by former Inter director. And by the way, what a surprise also, the season before, when Inter weren't in the title running, that mysteriously wasn't assigned to a team, that title. But 2005-06, it was fine to give that one to Inter.
Yeah, there's a lot of tinfoil hat kind of dealings going on there, right?
I know. It's so you do have to question how decisions were made and why they were made. And yes, he did some. There's no doubt Moji was a very suspicious character, but did the punishment fit the crime? I don't know, and I guess we won't ever know really. But you just look at it and you think it was. And the worst thing about all of it was it destroyed Italian football. It wasn't just punishing Juventus; it destroyed the league for a long time.
Well, that's usually how those things work out, right? We understand now that if you collaborate and you try to come to common ground, things work out a lot better. That was trying to just taking a chink out of your own armor, essentially what it is, right? Like, you're competitors on the field, but it's still the league. You still want them to come together and produce a product, which hopefully we see a lot. It looks like it's a bit better these past couple years. I don't know.
I think it's great. I honestly think the title this year, it's exciting. Napoli look just unbeatable. But, you're going to be in a situation where they've got Champions League coming up, and they can't maintain this. It's impossible to fight on three fronts and maintain what they're doing. And they've never been in this position before and delivered. So I just think, it's completely open. I think Milan, Inter, if Juve get their players all fit, Chiesa, Pogba, I still wouldn't rule them out of making a late charge, because I think Juve have been completely hamstrung by their injuries. It's insane the amount of injuries that there have been this year. And Chiesa Pogba in the new year will be back, and it'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting. But I think the league is stronger than it was, and I think it's shaping up to be a very, very exciting season.
Well, it is exciting, especially for us. The past month, November, there, Keane just got the Player of the Month. We found out. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I did see that.
So I mean, everything's starting to look up. And again, I just love reading your book and reading how times were bad, but how we turned them around and how we fought back, and we always made something of it. So that's why we need that history. That's why we got to learn these things to know that the situation we're in right now isn't really that bad, and we always figure out a way.
Exactly. I mean, when you followed the league in that time, the whole business model of Juventus was incredible, because they would sell a star every summer, yet still win the league. They sold Vieri, they won the league. They sold Inzaghi, they won the league. They sold Zidane, they won the league. It was always about balancing the books, which now it seems like they're not doing so much. But it was always balancing the books, and they were still so strong. I actually think if they get Milinkovic-Savic, which was being talked about in January, I think he's going to be a fantastic signing. I really hope he can flourish. It sounds like they're doing the deal in January. I think they definitely want to get him in before the summer, because they're worried they might not get him come summer.
It's hard to say. We've been through this for how many years in a row, though, right? The carrot gets dangled in front of us. We always think it's the next Mercato, and it never is. So we all hope. We continue to hope on that front.
See, so my question... Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, what have you guys made of the World Cup so far?
It's probably one of the most balanced World Cups I've seen in a long time.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I've not been looking forward to it, because it's sort of, I don't agree with the whole how it was won. It's in November, but I think there've been some really great games. Brazil, I thought, looked really good last night.
Oh, they were insane, yeah.
Really good. That second goal was ridiculous. They looked really strong. I'm enjoying it, actually. It's really nice.
Yeah, and that was the thing that we did when we were pre-gaming with it, when we were doing our preview for the entire tournament. We're saying that this is probably going to be one of the most greatest World Cups ever, but it's just tainted because of how it got there.
Yes, it's a shame. It's a shame because the stadium looked amazing, and there've been a few 0-0s. There's been some really good games. Portugal-Ghana was good. I mean, the Iran-Wales finish was mad today. Absolutely mad. I mean, that challenge by the keeper was just, it was another level.
And see, I missed that, so I'm glad to hear, because I was just getting out of bed, right, when that was going on, so I missed that.
Yeah, so basically, it was 0-0. Iran had a goal disallowed. They hit the post twice, and then the keeper comes out. The guy is about to chip it over him and then go through and score, and the keeper's foot was basically at his neck. And the referee gave a yellow, and he went to VAR, and he knew it was never going to stay as a yellow. And then Iran scored in the 95th minute.
Yeah,
it was a great finish, and then they got another one deep into added time.
It was like the 98th minute or 99th minute. It was insane.
Really, they caught them on the break. It was really late, but they deserved it. And it sets up that game against USA really nicely.
Yeah, it does. So my question to you guys is, how do you guys feel about the 8-9 minutes of extra time? Or overall, if we're counting both halves, so it's almost 10 to 12 minutes.
I'll let you go, Dave.
Every game, the least amount of extra time I've seen is 5 minutes so far. I think this is nuts. I don't know where this time's coming from.
It's ridiculous. Apparently, they're doing it. They're working it out for when the ball leaves play and when it comes back. It's like in rugby when they stop the clock and resume. That's how they're working it out. But it is ridiculous.
And that there's an argument to just make it that system. But we don't have that system, so just don't do it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just madness, and it's not what people are used to, and it's just. I mean, the game England-Iran the other day, there were 14 minutes in the first half, but there was a bad injury or two, and the game I think lasted in the end about 100 must be like 120 minutes or something.
Yeah,
It's insane.
because the Portugal Ghana game went on for at least 105.
It's mad.
And when you're playing every 4 days in this the Qatari heat, you don't want to be playing 120 minutes a match.
I know, and it is. I know it's winter here, and it is still hot though. It's touching 30 degrees every day.
I've been in that part of the world at this time of year.
It's hot.
This is when it gets nice. Let's say it's bearable. This is when it gets bearable.
I've been to Dubai in December, and it's around the mid 80s every day, and it's hot.
It's okay. You can use Celsius too. It's just Americans that don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just trying to, you know. Yeah, it is touching 30 every day, and it is really, really draining. You know, it's dry desert heat is what it is, and it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, you know, our favorite Italian referee of all time, Colina, was saying that we need to have 90 minutes of full football, and this is why we're doing this.
Yeah. No, I know. It's not what players and fans are used to, though. That's the thing. It's really, it's not what players and fans are used to, what they want, and I think it's just making it a bit ridiculous now. I mean, we only had 1 minute there, didn't we?
Yeah, we only had 1 minute for this game, but you know, and it's interesting because like if they applied this to Serie A, then like your Lecces, your Cremoneses, all of those teams are screwed. Because you know, if they're tied or if they're winning by one, they're all just rolling on the ground grabbing something. Like, oh no, my hamstring, it just stopped working now. 20 minutes extra time. That would mess up Serie A like crazy because every game would easily be 20 minutes of extra time.
I don't think it's going to catch on into domestic leagues because
I don't think so at all.
Don't think it will. I think it will revert to normal. So guys, we're going to chat properly tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we are. So we don't have to keep you. You got to enjoy the game. It's about to start again.
We're going to watch the game. Yeah. No. So I'm talking to you tomorrow, sort of late afternoon your time. Really looking forward to it. There's literally so much I want to talk to you guys about the book and the era and the stories, and I don't even get to talk to you about that Perugia storm when you went to go for the league, because that was a mad day.
I'll talk about all of it then.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
We're all here for it. As much time as you need too.
No, look forward to it. I'll catch you guys. I'm going to watch second half. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
All right. Enjoy
the rest of the match.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you then.
Good luck.
Love chat. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
So that was Jonathan Great, everyone. He just wrote this book, Galazzo, the Football Italia Years. I read it in 3 days. Man,
Hey, how many hours you put in that sucker?
So it's not a super long book. It's 177 pages. It's decent.
Okay.
No, it's nothing crazy, but I read the first couple.
Damn.
No, but it's one of those things, like the first day I read 2 chapters. The second day I read 2 chapters. The third day, it was just like, all right, I was into it. And like the story just rolled. Because the way he does it is, it's almost as if you're there, almost reliving it in a sense, right? It's like, he goes through each season. So he did, he's with Channel 4. He'll get into it, but he essentially covered it for 10 seasons. So it's that decade. He started in 91. Man, he'll let you know the exact dates. I can't remember exactly, but he basically covered the 90s. And just goes through season by seasons, the guys coming in, the guys leaving, the standings, how, you know, kind of like this year, how Napoli's is right at the top. Nobody can touch them, but they fall down. And then, you know, Milan come. Man, I felt like I was there season by season. So that's why I love it. I got completely engrossed in that last night. I just kind of ripped through the last 100 pages or so and then said, that's it. Like, I'm finishing this book tonight. So I got it off Amazon. So it's there. It's not super expensive either. Books can be pretty expensive these days too. So,
gosh darn hardcovers.
No, man, if it was a hardcover, I would have bought. Yeah, I would. I love hardcover books. I'm a bit of a loser for them. I love putting them up on my mantelpiece, you know, by the fire. Got all those hardcover books. Makes me look classy, which we know we're not, but I can at least pretend, right?
Just get like a fake fireplace, and then like we'll do a video series, Books with Dave.
We could
And then it's like you'll have like it's like a miniature one right where your lamp is right there. We'll put like a mini fireplace, and your back will be turned to the thing. So it'll be like this, and then you'll just kind of turn around and be like, "Hey, everybody, Dave here. Time with your guys' book of the week."
We could, and to be fair, I could do it for real. The guy that built this house, he was a Hungarian stonemason, so it's all brickwork and stonework and everything. And he built this beautiful fireplace that basically takes up the whole wall in the living room. And I mean, you wouldn't be able to get somebody to do that these days. Like this guy, because it was his own home. He built the house for himself. Has moved on since the house was built in '86. But man, I will sometimes, and I hate it right now because it's getting warm. It's supposed to be 10 degrees tomorrow. Like it's nice and warm. I'm like, man, I can't start a fire. I can, but it's not worth it to start a fire and just like chill there drinking a whiskey and reading a book. Like I will do that.
Gotta get you like a black and red checkered bathrobe too while you do it. Like
I have a lot of plaid. I could definitely use more.
We're gonna just expense it to the Turin Giants budget and be like, what are we doing this for? Like, but we're doing this. This is a staple of the channel now. Fireplace talk with Dave.
Totally could, yeah.
Screw tactics and a dash. We're doing fireplace with Dave.
Especially around Christmas time. So here's the thing. Could I show you? Here, I'll go get it because I'm proud of this. I do this every year. My bar is right here, by the way. So. All right. I dropped my headphones. Sorry about that. Okay. So I make 2 of these a year. Needs a bit of shaking, but I age it for months, and I have my own chickens. So this is eggnog.
Oh,
I make 2 gallons of eggnog. Between the 2, I split a 60 of Appleton Spice rum.
Okay.
So it's eggnog from my chicken's eggs. So how the story goes. Now here's some American Thanksgiving culture for you now. Because this is like George Washington and stuff going on as we kick off.
He's like, I'm about to George Washington your ass right now.
No, he actually has his own recipe. But regardless. Sorry, and I still got that bit of a cough. Sorry, guys. But
that soundbite before, and I haven't been able to use it.
But basically, you know, back in the homesteading days, you'd have your chickens. You have all these eggs. Your chickens. No, the hens in this case, not your cock. The cock still cocks around, but the hens will reduce how many eggs they lay throughout the winter because they're using more calories to stay warm to survive than they are to create eggs. Mm. So one of the methods of preserving all the abundance of eggs that you had is to make eggnog. You just put a bunch of spices in there, and spices help preserve things as well. And the liquor basically kills any of the germs. And the great thing is the longer you age it, so I age it like 5-6 months. I do it in the summer. The less it actually tastes like the liquor.
Yeah.
So good. And you don't even know what you're drinking. Man, if you've never had real eggnog, look up a recipe. Make it fresh even. You don't have to age it. You'll never go back to the store stuff.
I mean, anytime anyone ever flashed me the store stuff, I just kind of look at them like, nah, I'm good.
The store stuff...
It's terrible. It's processed.
It's like you're swallowing a load because it's like so thick and sticky. It's gross.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So where are we?
Oh, I gotta share the old Tickaroonie.
Why does it say 46 plus 1?
I don't know.
Does it show that on yours?
Nope.
So we just hit the 47 minutes, but there's still the plus 1 underneath.
Oh, it's just saying probably from halftime. Because nothing else happened this game.
Okay, I just went away. All right, thanks, mate. They probably just forgot to put it away.
Yeah, they probably did. That's what she said, but all right.
Yeah.
Jeez, all right. So England coming back out here with a 4-2 or 4-1. No shit, I can't even say it today. 4-2-3-1, the good old star formation with the U.S.'s 4-3-3. Even on shots, Except the Brits have a crap ton of possession, which it doesn't feel like they do, but apparently they do. So really, it's the thing with the United States that I have an issue with, and this is what costed them against Wales. How will they adjust in the second half? They absolutely did a terrible job adjusting their play style in the second half, and Wales was able to get back into the game. So we're going to see how it goes. I mean, that's my one criticism for Greg Berhalter, which is the United States' coach, is that dude's got to have a plan B when stuff ain't flying. And right now, stuff ain't flying for him.
Well, here's a counter. What do we have? Nothing. Block. Weston.
What?
He goes high. All right, I'm going to put my eggnog away and do my little pee break. I'll be back in a minute.
Alrighty. Gosh, man, McKenny's getting way too many opportunities that he's not finishing. Poor kid's got to finish these bad boys. Because you can only get so much of these. I mean, he's got a couple of clear shots. Relax, take a touch, take the shot, man. No need to rush it. And I mean, for us guys, we can trash McKenny all we want, but we need him to perform well here if we do want to sell him to Spurs or anywhere else. So the better McKenny performs, the easier it is to move him if we're going to move him. Because again, with SMS, we're going to have to move some folks in January. And right now, not looking too good on the moving of the players front. So going back on, England's got the ball. England's pushing the ball forward through Sterling. Sterling sends it back to Lord Maguire. Maguire passes it through to Mount. Mount to Saka. And then back to Trippier. Yeah, England really doesn't know what to do with the ball. Not really as far as a creative aspect. I think they're just kind of relying on pace. Like, there isn't really just anything. It's just, hey, Sterling's there. Throw it in space. And we might get him. So, back, resetting play with Maguire. Yeah, this game is really woeful to watch. It's not even like an up-tempo game. It's just both teams don't even know what the hell to do with the ball. But I digress. Yeah, Frankie, he better get us them dollar bills. But still, it's just, I think it kind of goes to show how overrated the English national team is, or how inconsistent they are. Because if they're dropping 6, and this is all they can do against the U.S., McKenny's been really woeful as well.
Another 0-0 game. We haven't had one today, so
Yeah, you're gonna add another one to it. It's just the thing is, McKenny's got shots. He's whiffing them.
he does that though sometimes,
Like,
especially when he's under pressure.
Dude's gotta relax.
That's part of the thing too, right? You look at the team, and okay, you have Pulisic, McKennie, Dest. Who else is playing in Europe?
Musa, I think, and Timothy Weah.
Yeah. So less than half the team on the pitch. So realistically, of the whole team, maybe a quarter of the guys have actual like top level experience. That's got to be weighing on a guy like Weston right now, because he is good, but he's also not really that good either.
Yeah, well, you know, the one player that's been good for the U.S. is, I believe his name is Tyler Adams. He is a defender.
Is he one of the ponytail guys?
No, Fro. He's their center mid. Not a defender, but he's their center midfielder. They have that good midfielder Aronson from Leeds. I'm surprised they're not subbing him in.
Well, it's still early. Might see.
Yeah, he's got better possession and better touch than McKennie, so I would assume that he would get subbed for McKennie shortly. Same thing with Gio Reyna. He's the winger for Dortmund.
Yes.
He's very good as well. I would at this point I would take out their current striker, put Pulisic in as a false 9, and put in Gio Reyna and Timothy Weah as your outside because they're both really fast, and then pivot off Pulisic. Because right now what they're doing is not working.
It's not working for either one. Who's down here? Weah. And who's Weah playing for right now?
I think he was a reserve on PSG. I don't know where he is now.
Look it up. Timothy Weah. Lille.
It's not a bad spot. He plays with Jonathan David.
Yeah. There you go. Did you see that the Juve woman with my favorite Canadian, Julia Grosso, tied Arsenal 1-1 Champions League?
I did.
That's pretty good.
I didn't watch the game. I saw the report.
I clicked on, because Google, when you look at the match, it would say how to watch or whatever. You can click on that. It'll tell you local ways to watch. It wouldn't even load anything up for that game.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. I want to be able to watch these if I have the chance.
I think the only person that knows how to watch J Women is Beppe.
Well, he's also in Europe. I think you have to buy the Juventus package.
Yeah, I think.
And I don't know if I could get that in Canada. Like if there's going to be content box stuff, I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, because he'd be the only person to know how to watch it. I think he actually does live stream some of their games on Twitch for him.
Oh yeah? I would love to watch more of it, especially because I got my homegirl in there.
I was gonna say everybody wants to watch Julia Grosso.
Actually, you know what? She had a picture yesterday at the game. Her sister was there, and
say, could you
good genes. There's good genes in that family.
Could you imagine if we got her on the podcast? Like we would just pop off.
You know what? I actually I haven't figured out who she is. Her name's Jessica. And she's the one that posts all the Julia Grosso stuff, and I just retweet it because I love it. I'll take all of it every day. Keep on tweeting that stuff. And I asked her because she always has like Julia Grosso has these Canadian flag things on her Twitter handle. So I asked her in English, like, "Hey, you want to come on? You seem to know a lot about the woman's side. You want to come on and talk about it?" And she replies in Italian, and I'm like, "Gosh,
psych."
I understood, but I still have to put things in the translator to make sure I understand what's happening, right? I'm not going to screw this up. And I always have to like double check my answers as well, whether I get asked somebody or I use the translator, right? Like I'm that choppy at Italian. And I asked her, like, I thought you were Canadian. She never replied, but she essentially said, between school, work, and culture, I have no time. But I was trying to get her on the podcast. That would have been sweet to have somebody that actually is at the games watching the woman's side.
Yeah, no, for sure. It'd be cool if we got like a footy chick in here to do a couple of shows just for fun.
Yeah.
I know AJC has that.
Yeah, the Lex.
Yep. The Bala fan girl.
Yeah. You just learned about this.
The Bala. Even though, oh my God, that wouldn't work for our show if there's someone came in here as a Dybala fanboy. Oh boy. I just look at them and be like, no.
Whatever. So yeah, if there are any listeners out there that knows about the female game more than we do and knows how to watch it, let us know.
Not sailing the high seas, folks. We cannot say that out loud. Pirating.
What? Oh, okay. I was
sail the high seas, Dave.
Pirating, yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was at a midnight release for a video game, and someone.
Yeah, I know Pokemon.
Line.
You could keep on mentioning this.
It wasn't Pokemon. It was a different one. I was there for a midnight release, and they were saying, "Yeah, we're gonna sail the high seas," and I was like, "Oh, pirating! I gotcha.
You got it." I love when people use like slang code for things. It's not like the cop doesn't understand, because the cops study this stuff. He knows what you're talking about.
They're probably the ones that create it.
Yeah.
Like I'm serious. Like they do
shop
like,
talk.
hey,
Yeah.
Let's make this term and then see how many youngsters pick up on it. Like, yo, man, I'd be rolling in deep with a glizzy and a 40, and then they're like, what?
How do you even know that?
How do you even know this? We created it.
It's all part of the conspiracy.
Dun dun dun.
That shot wasn't even on target, I don't think. That was Pulisic again. Oh, it took a piece. It's out for a corner.
Kind of want to see the reactions of an English pub if the United States scores. It's just the troll in me.
It's just like everyone just puts their hands up. Another.
Like, bloody hell, these guys are shite. You know when we're talking about punchable faces, Jordan Pickford has the most punchable face ever. Come on, man. You ever see him? Like, the dude's like trying way too damn hard, and he's like a mediocre keeper. Like, I will always remember that Euro final where he's like yelling and doing all the weird like celebrations and stuff, and Donnarumma's just sitting there just chilling.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't bother me like as much as Harry Maguire does.
Yeah,
and it's not so much Harry Maguire; it's Harry Maguire's haircut.
He looks like a Bond villain.
But like again, I keep on going on. Like, why are English players' haircuts so bad? I do not understand why collectively they have such terrible haircuts.
It's either a Buzz or Maguire. There's no in between.
Yeah, it's like this 60s Beatles here, or back at the Beatles. Another reason why I don't like the Beatles. Their haircuts are absolutely atrocious. And it's not like I'm a haircut guy.
These damn youngsters. He's like, I can't stand these youngsters and their bowl cut.
But like, it's terrible, is it not?
I mean, I'm not a fan of the bowl cut. I mean, it makes no sense to me.
Because the bowl cut is something that parents that didn't have a lot of money did to their kids in like the 80s and 90s. And cut their own hair.
Old cereal bowl on the head. And just...
But this is a fashion statement now, allegedly. Because I'm not saying it is.
That's so weird.
Well, the U.S. are trying here anyways. Oh! He goes down, but nothing. There's nothing.
Maguire with a save.
Well, they're making it interesting now, 60 minutes in.
Harry Kane plays better defense than Maguire.
Yeah,
What's that?
Bones said Boomer Dave is back.
Because I hate English haircuts. I don't know if that makes me a boomer. Maybe I don't know. Like that's the thing. It's just I don't really care. I'm not a guy about fashion looks, all that stuff. It is what it is. Until it looks terrible. When it looks so bad that I can't stop looking at it. That's the problem.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Pulisic and Harry Kane were one-on-one on the wing, and Kane stopped him. Like, Kane can actually play a decent defense.
Oh, yeah, Kane's not a horrible player.
Oh, yeah, it's because he plays on Conte's team, and Conte uses him as a left back.
Any good striker can play left back, right? Just like Bernardeschi.
Exactly, like Chiesa. I can tell you one thing, though. Serbia definitely missed Kostic last night.
Yeah, they were not creative at all.
They had nothing. They were playing for the 0-0.
Yeah. And they did it well for a long stretch. There's only so much you can do. Yeah, so this America's reminding me a lot like Canada was the other day now, where they're putting a lot of chances on. Some of them are decent. The other teams are basically doing nothing. England in this case.
Yeah, England's like the starfish in a very intimate scene. You're just pounding them and pounding them, and they're just like, "Oi, Is it in yet?
Starfish. I've never heard it referenced in that particular way before.
No, it's usually in every like comedy movie where he's like, "Yo, man, I was with this chicken, and like, all of a sudden she just went all starfish on me, and I just didn't know what to do after."
No, I know the term. It's the
Oh.
way you use the term.
Ah,
It was a new twist to it.
my years of open mic comedy when I was in college.
You were doing the comedy, or you were going to it?
I did.
You did it.
Yeah, we used to have like a comedy club in college.
You
and,
were a
like,
comedian.
yeah, I know. I suck at jokes.
Man.
I'm not that funny.
Well, you
I'm
got the
funny
dad
looking.
joke.
Yeah, I'm funny looking, but not that funny.
Well,
It worked. I'd just sit there and just say, like, I would honestly just say some of the most obscure things ever, and it would just stick. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna run with it.
Okay, you just go for the obscure things. I get it. You are. You go for the awkward shtick.
Oh yeah, I do that, and then I just like the one thing is because I'm immigrant family and all that stuff, so I would just pull in some like immigrant bits where it's just like, hey man, you know you're dealing with immigrant parents when you're 35 years old and they still have a curfew on you. They'll be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, totally. Even though I'm not 35. So like, yeah, I mean, it would get them because they'd be like, oh my god, that's so funny, and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Yeah, he's played the immigrant
Ooh.
card. That works for people,
yeah.
especially in Michigan, I imagine.
Michigan's surprisingly more diverse than a lot of people give it credit for.
I don't know. Maybe it's because nobody ever goes there to see.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, another corner for the United States, and
thrown
still nothing.
Oh, they're getting angry. See, in Serginho Dest, why I'm thinking he's got the Portuguese name. He's got the Portuguese hair as well.
That's not his real hair. That's not his real hair color. He
No,
dyed
I
it.
know, and I shouldn't say Portuguese, more Brazilian, right? Where so many of them have that like highlighted just the top,
Yeah.
just like Richarlison. Richarlison does it heavy.
England's subbing in Jordan Henderson, boys. I think the United States has a chance here.
Oh, here we go. Hasn't he had a terrible year? Or is that just Liverpool in general?
Well, hey, you know what was funny? So speaking of Liverpool, because you brought that up, so Jurgen Klopp used the donut formation or the hexagon formation that Allegri used against Sampdoria.
Yeah.
Everybody called him a freaking genius.
Really?
I am dead serious.
It's funny when a
bias.
plan works, though, right?
They lost that game.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so like the
But they
bias,
called him a genius.
the
still.
bias is absolutely insane.
Oh,
Like he
man.
did that, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Jurgen Klopp is revolutionizing the game with his high pressing and blah blah blah." And then like Allegri runs it, and everyone's like, "F that guy, he's a bum." Dinosaur tactics.
Which team did he play it against?
I don't remember. It was one of the recent games before the break because I was scouring through Twitter and I found it, and I was just like, "This is interesting."
That's funny.
Like everyone was absolutely grilling him. Like a bunch of the Juve folk are like, "You can't be serious right now." And I bet you if Klopp came to Juve and did the same exact thing, the donut formation, the fan base would be like, "Oh my God, so visionary."
Well, you do have, you have the fanboys. Jack Grealish is there. I love how he stopped putting his shirt on just so he was on camera with his abs showing.
He's like, "All right, guys, make sure you get me a good shot over here."
The coach isn't really actually giving taxes. Like, he's just got the earpiece. Like, okay, hold, no,
This
stop,
guy-
don't.
Hey,
Keep the shirt off.
in the binder, it's actually a tablet with the camera, like with the game being live streamed. He's like, "All right, Grealish, you're right here, camera angle too. All right, keep it off, keep it off. Don't look at the camera. Just look at the binder. Look at the binder. We'll just
Guaranteed.
All right, good, okay, cool,
That's
get the fuck-
guaranteed what's going on. There
He's
is a
like-
bunch of 14-year-old English girls wetting their pants right now.
14. Geez.
You come on. We know what happens at that age.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's like, all right, boys, Henderson and Grealish are coming in. I think the United States might get a shot here.
The quality of the haircuts have improved.
Though I don't know which is better, Raheem Sterling or a male porn star, because both of them get it going, they just don't finish.
Yeah, Sterling is really not great at finishing, is he?
No, but his wife might like it, though.
They get bored with it too, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's getting subbed off. Damn. Now I can't troll him anymore.
I don't like the font of the numbers of the English team. Because look at the number 7 if it shows back up again. It looks
like
so
It
awkward.
looks like a sickle. Looks like a deformed sickle.
It's awkward. I don't get these service temporarily unavailable. Bro. you can't just stop my stream. Not you, TSN.
Oh.
This is Canadian network for you guys.
They probably heard you. They're like, "Oh, Dave's making too much fun of the Brits. We got to stop his stream now."
What? These networks, I swear to God, are so bad. The websites are absolute trash. I don't even use their apps. The apps don't work. Apparently, their website doesn't either. I gotta watch the ad again. I have to watch a Kahlua ad before I can watch the game again. I'm watching a Kahlua ad.
See, that's why I'm streaming it on my Xbox. I got it on my Xbox.
No, it's just the TSN, it's the network, right? So I get it because my dad has a cable package. And with these networks, you can log in with your cable password, essentially, right? You say, oh, this is my provider, log in, you can watch it. So I use my dad's login, essentially, to do that. Because he does, and he doesn't even watch these channels. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He's old.
He's old.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's up. I'm back online in any case. The bad part of this, too, is watching it through this TSN network means the commentators are of questionable quality. And it's not so much the commentators, it's the, like, between show halftime pundits. They're really not good.
It's like everyone, though, unless like you have like Del Piero or like a bunch of like legends talking about a game.
Well, because of the whole diversity thing, whatever, I get it. I'm here talking about the female game as well. But they will have just a veteran that used to play for Team Canada, for instance, like 10 years ago. And she'd be the pundit. And she understands the tactics and stuff like that, but she's not that great. And I'm not just picking on her. A lot of them just aren't that great.
No,
and I understand because we do it to a certain degree, right? But we only have to pay attention to one team. These guys are trying to understand everything. But they don't. They're not watching all the leagues. They're not watching all the football. They're not. And this is where the discussion of the old media and the new media comes in, right? The old media is like this old boys club. You don't really need to know anything about the sport. You just get handed a script and the lines, and you just know how to argue your lines, and you go when you just make some entertainment, right? Whereas the new media are people that are like actual fans, people that actually care about it. Or in some cases, if you're like a Draymond Green fan, the person that plays the sport himself, and they're the only ones that should really be talking about stuff. Whatever your opinions are, it's the old media in the sense of like the old networks, especially when you're talking about like a Canadian network covering international soccer. Because I'll tell you, the coverage for hockey is great. There's a lot of good hockey coverage, but for these so-called secondary sports, in reference to Canada, the quality isn't great at all, and it's in some cases it's actually terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the U.S. whenever you're watching a soccer tournament, whether it be the Euros or
Yeah.
the World Cup.
And in some markets, like say really bad markets like Arizona for hockey, trying to watch an American feed, oh my. It is really bad. It's like almost like you're watching a YouTube video on what is hockey. Like how they have to explain what every little thing is. Oh, well, that was a pass to the left winger. The left winger.
What's icing? Is that something you put on the cake?
Yeah, they explain icing at least once a game because they know people don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, hey, at least hockey's offside rule is easier to understand than football.
Yeah, it is much easier.
Because there's like a set line here. There's no line.
Still made a lot of controversy though. Oh, how many years? 4 years. St. Louis. It was the year St. Louis won. Where the game-winning goal was actually offside, and they actually changed the way the offside rule was called through the video review for the next year. Like, was that controversial?
Wow. Well, I mean, what is it? The NHL and the NFL are really good as far as rules go. If there's like a rule that's really bad, they like out it in the next season.
Yeah.
Same thing with MLB, I believe, too. Unfortunately for footy, nope.
Well, these are the benefits now if we want to get on the whole Super League thing, right? The benefits of having a closed league. You don't have to collaborate with different federations, all these different countries to say, are you guys on board with this? Let's bring it to vote and council and blah. No, it's a closed league. Your senior
teams.
directives, or you just have the representatives. They sit down at a board.
Nedved. Send Nedved.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be ripped on coke and slept in 42 hours.
Be like, so Pavel, what's your thoughts on the new offside stipulation? I don't know, man. I'm on cocaine and hookers for like the last 20 hours. I vote yes.
But that's how it works. So you can get things done a lot more efficiently, make progressive change. And that allows you then, along with, the financial back and whatnot, but allows you to create a more produced product, something that's better refined. Because that's if you have a sloppy sport, people aren't going to watch it.
Yeah, and the thing is, and one of the reasons why I think a lot of the federations were against the Super League is because essentially it would have forced them to do their job.
That's part of it. Yeah, that's an old boys club. Oh, we don't want to change the way we've been doing it. We've been doing it this way for decades, and it's been fine. So why change it now?
Like, yeah, could you imagine if Serie A was Americanized, where they had like 15 different because what is it? The NFL has cameras in their pylons.
Yeah,
like they have cameras everywhere. So could you imagine if they had a camera on the referee's flag for the offside flag?
Yeah. Or here's something. I'm going to throw in F1 again. I could watch any driver's like dash cam at any point during the Grand Prix. Of the 20 drivers, I can say, oh, I want to watch Sebastian Vettel, or I want to watch Charles Leclerc or Max Verstappen. I can just click through it. Or I can click through the stats board. Or I can go through the main feed, and I can choose different commentators if I want. And these are moving vehicles going 300 kilometers an hour, and I'm getting a feed from them at any time I want. It'd
be funny if the drivers get a notification. Dave, watching your dash cam. Oh, it's Dave. Flips them off.
Yeah. But that technology is clearly in place. And again, you're putting it on an F1 car where every little ounce of weight matters. And they're able to implement this technology effectively. So, I mean, on the side of a football pitch, pretty easy, I think.
Definitely. So the United States just subbed out McKennie for Aronson. I called it. But 13 minutes in the game, Dest is being subbed off as well for Moore. Please say it ain't so. It looks like both teams are playing for the 0-0.
Oh boy. We have to have the 0-0 because the Welsh screwed it up this morning.
Yeah, so now that means it's going to be all to play for United States versus Iran. Technically, Wales could still qualify if they beat England. So it's going to make this group down to the wire.
That would be a storyline if the Welsh beat England, eh? They would love it.
Because the bare minimum for qualification in this group is 4 points. Wales has 1. The Iranians have 3. The United States technically have 2. The Brits have 4. So I would say 4 points gets you in.
Yeah.
Because Iran would either have to tie against us or win to pass that threshold. We have to win. And then Wales would have to win as well. But Wales needs more help from us, though. Because Wales needs us to make sure Iran doesn't get any points at all. Because Iran's only at 3. So if we were to beat Iran, and then even then, I think Wales is pretty much out if we win. So because if we beat Iran, we'd be on 5, and then England would still be on 4. But it depends on goal differential and all the other, or head-to-head. Well, technically, if Wales beats England and they tie, if they tie at 4 points, then Wales would go through. See, this group's going to be crazy on the last day.
Yeah, that could be fun. But this game's not over yet. Maybe something will happen. Maybe.
Maybe.
I kind of want nothing to happen just so I can say, 5 days, 5 0-0s.
This game's going to put me to sleep. Mm-hmm. But I love you, KF, but you said England was going to absolutely demolish the United States. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's happening today. Jeez, man. Wow.
I kind of like what the commentators did there. It's like, Grealish of Manchester City, Moore of Nashville. It's like, so I have to bring this up. It's been bugging me. This match actually isn't that bad for it, and it took me a while to figure it out. I thought there was just tons of empty seats. But it's just everyone wearing the white garb. So it's just like these big patches of white. I thought they were just empty seats.
That's so fun.
Yep.
Boy, this game. This game is lagging.
It's so bad. It's so bad. No, I got the USA chance going. That's kind of the problem, though, with the American fans. They can't be American fans in Qatar because they're not drunk. You can say the same for the English fans, though, really.
I think that goes both ways there.
Yeah, but, I mean, the American ones are way fatter and have way shittier beer, so they're just a lot more disheveled.
Yeah, touche. I can't disagree with you there.
And, I mean, in England, you get a nice sausage. In States, you get, what is it, a glizzy? Glizzy? A glizzy. See? I'm using it in sentences now, guys. Call me a boomer.
All right, Timothy Weah is being subbed off for Gio Reyna. Oh, hey, speaking of Weah, there's his dad, George Weah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, but the guy was a beast.
Still is a beast.
Yeah, really, he was I think he's the only African American or the only African player ever to win the Ballon d'Or.
Interesting stat.
I forgot where he played internationally. I think he played for Senegal.
Let's look it up.
Because I know either that or the Dutch.
Fuck, what's the dad's first name?
George.
George. Okay, George. Weah. Soccer. George Weah Jr. soccer player?
No.
That's not him.
You spelt it right?
George Weah. Not the president of Liberia. Don't think that's the same one. Weah?
Yeah, that's it.
George Weah. And I'm getting the president of Liberia. Okay. Let's put football. I don't know why this is so... I bet you Jonathan Gray would know. He talks about him in his book.
I get it. I'm going to see if I can find him on my end.
Country Liberia. Is he the president of Liberia?
He might be.
Because when the commentator said President Weah, Timothy's father, so he is the president of Liberia.
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's crazy.
Since 2018.
Liberia. Oh, he's Liberian. That's what he is. So that's why his son plays for the U.S.
He is the first African former professional footballer to become a head of state.
Also, I believe he's the only African professional footballer to win the Ballon d'Or. But his golden years were Monaco and PSG, and then AC Milan.
Okay, so here we go. Widely regarded as one of the greatest African players of all time, in '95, Weah was named FIFA World Player of the Year and won the Ballon d'Or, becoming the first and only player to win these awards while representing an African country internationally. So it's even more so. Even more.
It's crazy, man. I knew he was somewhere. I didn't realize he was a president at this point.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's like, screw it, I'm going to run this country.
That's interesting that his son, I mean, it makes sense because if you're Liberian, you're also part U.S. citizen.
Are you?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, U.S. Used to actually have Liberia as a territory. That's why it's called Liberia. Look at their flag. Liberty.
Yes. Here's some more deep American culture. And Americans that don't think that the country is an empire. Like, there's some like even Hawaii. Why does the U.S. have control of Hawaii? It's an empire, man.
I just work here.
These are the two empires.
I just work here.
USA and England, the two empires. Oh, no, that was too easy. It was too easy. We're learning more about history today than we... Oh, people's in. People loves hamburgers?
I think he means hamburgers.
I think so. Yeah. You guys like Cuauhtémoc Blanco. What does that mean?
I don't know. It sounds funny.
You know some Spanish.
That's not Spanish. I don't think that's Spanish. Unless it was spelled poorly.
I don't know. People just came in, started saying things. I don't know what context we're talking anymore. I think I'm way past. Yeah, that must have been a couple minutes ago.
So, Cuauhtemoc Blanco, he is a Mexican politician, former professional footballer, who is the governor of Morelos, and he is 49 years old.
Okay, so footballers that are politicians, that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, I thought it was like a play on words, but he played in the Liga MX for the most part. Played for Club America.
Man, that keeper was playing American football there. It's like the quarterback running with the ball. It's getting chased down.
It's like, gosh, please just end this game.
Oh,
This game-
America. Here comes America. No.
This
No,
game
they
is
don't.
So tough to watch.
KB's in. Is England scared of the U.S.? Shocking.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good track record against those guys. Last time we beat them, we took away half their empire.
Listen, you know what this is? No, it's not even that. This is like, we're going to go back to the 14-year-old girls. It's when you're at that school dance and you're 14 and you're all awkward. And you know you want to be with the girl over there, but you're still standing back firmly against the wall, not moving, sweating, out of spots you're just first discovering. That's what's going on right now, is that both teams, they're at their first dance where they're allowed to touch a girl. And they won't touch the girl because they're bitches. They're both bitches. Your teams, England and the US, your teams are crap. I'm just saying that your teams are crap.
At least the US is trying to get in. I haven't seen England attack at all.
Yeah, so England's the boy right now, where he's just completely scared out of his pants.
Yeah,
and the US is the girl, where they're like kind of like look over and give the head nudge, like, you interested? So they're like trying to make it obvious.
She's looking at him saying, "Is it in yet?" Just maybe this will bring him good luck.
Hasn't worked yet. Only 4 minutes. This is the least amount of additional time we've ever seen. That is a testament to how bad this game has been.
Yeah, the ref's like, fuck, man, I just want to get out of here. This is terrible.
At least they're not making us endure it any longer.
Yeah. Good guy, ref. How does Harry Maguire have more shots than the entire English national team? Like, what the hell is this? Freaking Maguire.
Yeah. That's a little embarrassing.
Hell, at this point, I might as well just sign Maguire and put him up as a striker to sub Vlahovic. The dude can get off some headers off on corners.
You still talking about Maguire? Or are you talking about Pulisic?
No, I'm talking about Maguire.
Okay.
Maguire's like the only player's name I've seen most this game. Maguire with a header in the box. Maguire with this. Maguire with that. Maguire over here. Maguire over there.
Oh, that was an ugly giveaway. Typical, though, that Grealish would go down that easy.
That's what she said. Dude got trucked. His hairstyle makes no sense. It's like a broccoli. It's like a piece of broccoli. Seriously.
Yeah. Where's he from? Is he a Londoner, Jack Grealish? He seems like he can be a Londoner.
No clue.
Okay, Jack Grealish.
See, the thing is about this game, I don't even know whether it's the U.S. playing well or it's just they're both really, really shit.
Yeah, they're both shit. He's from Birmingham. That means nothing to me.
That's a little bit further north. It's like Newcastle.
Birmingham.
Make sure you don't look at Alabama.
Yeah, no. I'm not an American. You don't need to tell me these things. It's right in the middle.
Been north
Northwest.
of London, right?
Yeah, northwest of it. Close to Leicester.
Leicester.
Oh, it's where Wolverhampton is. Coventry. Stoke-on-Trent. A couple names I recognize. All right, now I know.
Oh, Harry Maguire. Jeez, man. What the hell, dude? Maguire's like everywhere.
Man of the match.
Yeah.
KB's calling Grealish a clown. Love it. I mean, there's a lot of bias in the chat today, obviously. Well, you have to let that be known that pretty much all of you are Americans.
Yeah, this would be the only chance you guys are going to whiff it and just settle for the draw. Nothing's going to come out of this.
Good thing this one isn't going to penalties. That's it. The whistle.
Oh.
Thank you. It's over. Oh, let's see what else is playing today.
Oh, good. That's it. That's the last game.
Oh, no. I got the whole taker up here. I got some NFL. That's right. It's Black Friday weekend. There's going to be football all weekend. American football. This is America weekend. Okay, when are the Colts going to lose? What day is that?
Yeah.
That's Monday. On Monday, they play. Come on.
He's like, when are the Colts going to lose? He doesn't even sit there and be like, shit, who are we betting against? Who are we going to get smoked by? Damn.
Oh, man.
He's like,
That's
F
fun,
this.
It's fun. We have fun. Okay, so that was 0-0.
Gosh, yeah, this was literally a podcast episode at this point because the game was so damn boring that there was nothing to talk about, or we just went off on random topics. Like literally, you could just like change everything about this and say podcast episode 207, and nobody would know whether the United States and England were playing. So
And there's not really any news either that we didn't cover. I can go over it again real quick. So there was that interview with Bernadeschi, kind of giving praise to Rabiot, saying that it's hard. Here we go. Speaking to Gazzetta, Rabiot growth surprised me. No, because I've seen him in training and had no doubts of his qualities. I am happy for Adri because I know what it means to be criticized unfairly. He should have been renewed months ago. So praises from Lord Berna.
Berna, you weren't criticized unfairly, dude. You sucked. You sucked. Great at Toronto, terrible at Juve.
Yes, he is. Okay, more teams looking at Sule. Okay, let's go through. Try to do this quick. Luca Pellegrini should return to Juventus at the end of the season. Yeah, okay, we knew that. A couple things in Italian I'm not going to try to translate right now. Moise Kean, this is my favorite. Moise Kean winning Serie A Player of November. Booyah. What was his stats? Was it 5 goals in 4 games?
Yeah, 5-4.
Not bad. Not bad for a guy that we had pretty much written off the previous month. Like I was starting to write him off, and I'm a fanboy, so. Yeah, Kean, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday we heard about Wilfred Singo possibly coming. Torino doesn't want to sell a full one. their best fullbacks really mid-season. Makes sense. I kind of thought that was weird too. Like, you can't just go to a team like Torino who, you take one of their key players away and might be fighting relegation. You can't just take one away in January unless the money's really good, which probably isn't. Okay, details on Locatelli's contract. So Juventus will pay Sassuolo 25 million euros, payable over 3 years at the beginning of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
The overall deal was 37.5 million, but the remaining 12.5 is paid upon the achievement of certain objectives. We don't know what those objectives are, but maybe that helps break things down a little bit, makes it seem a little bit cheaper depending on what those objectives could be.
Yeah, I do know that the Paredes buyout clause has officially went from an obligation to an option because of us not making the round of 16.
Yep. Yeah, so that's good to hear. Even though, and I don't know if he listens to these things, he, she, whoever it is, Wings of Winter, I think that's the name, went on a big rant about how everyone was like talking up Paredes. And my question was just, who's doing that?
And I'm going to make it clear too, like, we said this back then where we said, if he's what Allegri wants, you get him what Allegri wants. And if he flops, he flops. I wasn't on board with sending Ravella out. I don't think any of us were.
No. And he makes the news all the time about how great he's doing and how he's going to come back and be part of the team.
Yeah, so like the thing is like with Paredes, like it's not that we were sold high on Paredes stock. We were just kind of like, all right, cool, he's a regista. We need a regista. Let's see how that fills out. And he's what Allegri wants. Still half of this. It's not even half of the season, so he could technically pick it up. So
yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of players, I'm going to say this, a lot of players were purposely scaling it back at the beginning of the year because of the World Cup too. Like, folks don't understand that. That's one thing you're going to have to understand. Like, some people need to understand is, like, because the World Cup was in December, a lot of people were scaling back so they don't get hurt. Whether or not it's beneficial to them or not, that's one thing. But I think you're going to notice a totally different season the second half. So,
it's still 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Sucks.
They should have just moved the transfer window into December.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Because I was sick and I didn't go into work for a few days this week. And everyone was like, oh, super convenient. Because they all know I am the biggest footy fan in the building.
I know. They're like super convenient for Dave that he just happened to get sick.
Yeah. And that was after the day after there was 2 0-0 draws. And I'm like, do you understand how bad this football has been? That like I'm only watching this World Cup because that's all I'm laying on a couch just like staring at a screen. That's the only reason, because I don't care about this whole Qatar thing. Like, I'm supporting Canada, whatever. I'll watch the big games. Like, I don't care about Qatar. I don't care about Saudi Arabia.
And then some of the people would tell me like, dude, like some of these games are like terrible to watch. I can't believe you're watching through. I'm like, dude, I need content. That's why I have to watch these. Leave me alone.
And like, don't get me wrong. I watched the Brazil game yesterday, and the later stages of it anyways got really nice to watch. There's good football out there, but let's not kid ourselves. The match we just watched was
terrible. I think the best match was the Ghana-Portugal, second half of the Ghana-Portugal
That was
match.
fun, yeah.
That was probably my favorite one.
And like, if you want to watch steamrolling, I guess Spain 7-0.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Spain. I think that game doesn't really mean much. I think they're going to struggle the next game.
Oh, dude, no, we'll see. We'll see. I like them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just it's Costa Rica. That's why I'm like, that's a geriatric squad.
Yeah, no, not a very good squad at all. But Spain they're amazing. I'm just saying. I have them. I'm still saying they're going to win this one.
I'm going on Portugal. Perfect. So I made the argument about their depth. They literally sub in Leao, one touch. Goal.
Yeah, no, I know their depth is insane, but Spain for me is their midfield and their ability to control a game when it needs, like at those very high stages. So say they do play Brazil, they're going to be able to lock down Brazil, so Brazil doesn't look so beautiful anymore because they can't possess the ball to be able to do that.
That's
Spain
fine.
is just going to boss them.
They'll sit back and have Vinicius absolutely torch Spain's left back on the counter. That's Spain's.
Yeah.
That's so two things. So I'll say this about Spain. Two things are their Achilles heel. One, their ability to handle a team that has pace, and two, who's finishing all their midfield's chances.
Morata's he'll have a good tournament. We'll see.
I don't think he's like the greatest striker ever for him. Like if they had David Villa, absolutely Spain wins this World Cup.
Okay.
We'll
see.
But that's my only concern. Once they actually play against a good defending team, who's going to score goals for them? Because they had the same issue at the Euros as well. Like who's going to get the goals for them?
Well, we'll see with Portugal as well. I mean, Portugal is known to choke it out.
They are, but like the thing is again, man, like you have Octavio and you have Leao on the left, and then you have João Felix and you have Bernardo Silva on the right, and that's not even talking about their midfield, where you have Ruben Diaz, you have Joe Mario, you have a bunch of other pieces where I'm like, holy crap. And then even if you sub out Ronaldo, you have Andre Silva that's been lighting it up in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I'm not trying to discount. I'm more so continuing on with Spain because I've been calling them for months, so I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. Like Portugal does look amazing, but I don't know. Just the Spanish midfield. It's going back. I'm going to lean on it. The midfield wins the games, so I'm leaning on that one.
Yeah, but as Chiellini says, defense wins championships. That's what he said at his LAFC interview.
Well, his defense wins championships.
His D wins
his D wins.
And then Pipo says Argentina versus Portugal is the final. I don't even think Argentina makes it out of the group stage.
Unless they just turn it around. We see that like the teams that win these championships sometimes have a horrible start. They scrape into the knockout rounds, then all of a sudden they light off. So
all I'm going to say in regards to that is, what is Messi? What is Messi?
Yes. So my favorite game so far is Portugal is Ghana, yeah, and then his favorite player Pedri from Spain. And that's the thing. These guys like Pedri coming up through the ranks. That's why I love Spain so much too. Their youth. I love their youth. Okay. My favorite Mexican is the Chapulin, Colorado guy who takes pictures with everybody on the TV streams. Could KP or Frankie elaborate, perhaps? And he also thinks Brazil looks dangerous. Yes, Brazil does look dangerous. But they're soft. That's my problem with Brazil. And you can, like Neymar, Richarlison, they're soft guys. They play a team that has technical ability, but also some strength. They can get bossed around a bit. I don't know. That's my fear with them. They're just too soft.
So apparently all the Saudi Arabia players are receiving a Rolls Royce for their efforts against Argentina.
Nice. Oh, that's such a Saudi thing to do. Fun. Anyways, this sports show is over, thankfully. We won't go live tomorrow. We're going to do an offline interview with Jonathan Grade again. Galazzo, the football Italia years. We're going to do the podcast tomorrow offline just so we can have a nice... He's got so much to talk about. And when we got a guest like this, we just want to have a nice, I guess, a 2-on-1 interview in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it sound so awkward. But yeah, we're just going to do a nice episode with Jonathan there. You saw him there at halftime. If not, you can check the replay. Man, just what he knows. He was broadcasting Serie A for English television in the 90s. And he just has so many stories. So that's happening tomorrow. We will push that episode. It might... I'll talk to Farhad, see if he wants to release it. He might release it Sunday. But it's coming this weekend. Otherwise, like, subscribe, Dash. You're better with this stuff. You should take it away.
That's what she said. Here we go. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for stopping by today. We had a very snooze fest of a game, so we were able to talk some stuff. We missed you guys live show-wise. We've been doing a bunch of pre-planned videos. And speaking of pre-planned videos, Dave's going to be hitting you guys with some news. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but he'll be hitting you with some news. And then also I am working on the next Tactics in a Dash video. I'm going to be posting something on our IG to kind of get some fan reactions to see what kind of formations I should cover next. So that will be coming up in the next week as well. Also, thanks for stopping by. Also, do the old subscriber Rooney thingamadoody so we can get to that 1,000 so we can celebrate with the TG 1,000 stuff. But other than that, thanks for stopping by, and I'll hand it off to my friend Dave here to take it away.
Oh, thanks, Sash. Thank you. Y'all come back again tomorrow now, you heard? Yeah, thanks, guys. Love you all. Thanks for joining. I just did the news. I'm not doing another news. It's fine. I'm moving on. See you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Good night.